What's up, guys? Bluddshed here. Welcome to episode 18 of the Bludd Heart Diablo Podcast. What we do here is talk about all things Diablo 3 related. And normally we do branch out to other topics in the gaming industry, in the gaming world, and things like that. But today's a special day. Today we're going to throw out the format and we're going to cover the Diablo 3 patch 2.6.7 patch notes. I'm going to go through everything line by line and give you my thoughts and opinions on everything. We did talk about it all day on stream, so I feel like I have a nice worldly opinion, I guess, from our whole community, and I can kind of relay that to you guys. We also had a developer and the community manager, Nevelist, in the stream answering questions for us. So hopefully this deep dive, you guys find it very valuable. So just to start off, the PTR will begin October 17th. Which, according to my calculations, is Thursday. This episode is going to post on Tuesday. So basically 2 days from now. There's no start time. Typically, the PTRs start late, as of late, usually like noon to 2. But who knows? It could be 10 in the morning. You know, there is scheduled maintenance on the launcher right now for 7 a.m. my time, 7 in the morning. And it's approximately going to be up at 8 in the morning. So it could be up at like 8 or 10 in the morning, but I'm thinking more like midday, I guess, like 2 o'clock or something like that. They're going to follow the same cycle. So it'll be a 1 week testing schedule. And what happens is, so they put the PTR out for a week. They've already looked at it and did their best to make it, as balanced and viable as possible. They give it to us. They get the feedback. They have to make changes and then submit that. I even found out today that they have to submit it to even Mac. So they have to submit it to Mac, PlayStation, Xbox, the Switch, and PC has its own kind of loopholes to get through. So there's like 5 things they have to submit the patch to then have like a global launch on all platforms or, a unified launch on all platforms. So it takes a lot. So they got to get our feedback, make any changes if they see anything, any glaring issues, and then submit it to all the platforms and get it out. Before we get into the patch notes, a lot of popular questions you might be having is, when are we going to get the patch? And I think we'll have the patch. It's usually about a month after the PTR, right? So if we're getting the PTR on the 17th, this PTR will end on the 24th. I'm thinking the season will start on the 28th, which is actually Black Friday, the day after, North American or Thanksgiving, I guess, or I guess American Thanksgiving. But it could be on the 6th, on December 6th. So those are my 2 popular dates, the 28th or December 6th. It's actually a good time after the holidays. I know last year we had the PTR during Thanksgiving and it was pretty atrocious. I was really upset about it, okay? I almost missed Thanksgiving because of the PTR. That's how much I like testing and making content for you guys. There's no official dates yet. As soon as there are dates, I will let you know. But those are my early impressions on everything. And then we usually get the patch before the season. So that'd be like a few days. So that would be like on Thanksgiving or something like that, if we were to get the patch early. On the PTR, if you want to help test, there will be a legendary drop buff and a blood shard, double blood shard drops. And then there's going to be the dank meme vendor also. So there'll be like a PTR exclusive vendor to get the loot, because there are new legendaries that they buffed, and sets. Okay, a little preview. There are going to be some new sets, and there's going to be a lot of things in place to help us get geared as fast as possible with the new items so we can test as fast as possible. Feedback should be provided in the PTR feedback forum, while bug reports should be provided in the PTR bug report forum. Submitting this really does help. It makes our season, bug-free and all that stuff. It really does go a long way. So any of you guys that take the time to submit the bugs and feedback, it really helps. The first change, Greater Rift Keystones are now subject to vacuum pickup. So it's a small quality of life change. You kill the Rift Guardian, the Keystones hit the ground, and you automatically pick them up. Not bad. We don't have auto crafting materials or anything like that yet, but maybe this is a small step to that. I know a lot of people want, crafting materials and to be auto picked up in DBs and all that. So you never know. But as of right now, it's just Greater Rift Keystones. It's better than what we had before, I suppose. All right, let's talk about the seasonal theme. Okay, this is like the overarching theme for the whole season. It's called Pandemonium, right? The Pandemonium buff. For the duration of the season, all players will have a stacking buff that persists as long as you have hit or killed the monster in the last 5 seconds. Okay? Each stack gives you 0.05 movement speed and 0.01 bonus damage. The damage caps at 100% and the movement speed caps at 50%. So now this buff only lasts 5 seconds, but you can keep it up if you're hitting something. So like let's say there's a Rift Guardian, you should be able to keep up the buff indefinitely with the Rift Guardian. Versus the Triune buff last season, it was only available, there's 3 rings, right? So you had 3 possible rings and you would get the damage buff or you would get the reduced resource buff. So it just kind of depends on what you get. But this way, wherever you're at when the Rift Guardian spawns, if you can hit it before your buff goes away, because it only lasts 5 seconds, right? If you can hit the Rift Guardian, then maybe it will keep it up the entire time. Now, there is a delay sometimes with Rift Guardians where you could lose your buff. We were talking about, sometimes the Guardian spawns far away from you. It can be really problematic. So wherever we spawn the Guardian, we might be a little bit more conscientious of next season, because if you have 100% damage buff, or let's say you have even 50 or 25, that's huge. So losing it might be a big deal. Maybe they'll increase the buff from 5 to 10 seconds to make it more manageable for Rift Guardians. But if they don't, it's still kind of a cool thing. Now, the Pandemonium buff just isn't for movement speed and damage. There's a bunch of things that happen when you get to a certain amount of kills. So on hit keeps up the buff. And when you kill something, you unlock these kind of cool effects, and we'll go over them right now. At 15 kills, 5 massive energy twisters are unleashed. Now, we don't know if these are affected by our character. I would say probably not. It's probably just like a map-wide thing that happens. I don't think we can affect if it's like fire twister and then we have fire damage, will it increase it? Probably not, but we have to test it just to make sure. Like if you have twister items, will it buff the energy twisters? Probably not. Also, if you're thinking about group play, the entire group shares the kill streak bonus. So normally you don't get kill streaks in Greater Rifts on PC, but there is going to be a separate mechanic that tracks it. So if you're playing on console, you should see the kill streak bonus, like the massacre bonus, and you'll see the pandemonium, the new buff next to it. There should be both. So groups share the same kill streak, so you guys can see whatever you see on your screen is what your friend has, and vice versa. 15 kills, you get those 5 tornadoes we talked about. At 30 kills, dark geysers form beneath enemies. So there'll be like these huge geysers. We don't know what they look like. I'm assuming that sounds like the Stone Singer buffs or like a Volcano Barb. Have you ever used that spell before? I'm assuming that's what'll be beneath the enemies at 30 kills. 30 kills is really quick. That's fast. Usually you only fight 30 enemies on screen. Like usually when you go and your first pack that you stop and fight has about 30. So you'll be seeing these geysers pretty quick. At 50 kills, exploding chickens seek and destroy. Now that's fun. I can't wait to do this. And again, we'll be able to do this while leveling. We'll get this buff while doing greater rifts, while doing regular rifts. So you'll see tornadoes, geysers, and chickens almost instantly. We did some testing and we got to 50 kills, like 1 to 2 screens, and we had 50 kills. Like the second screen, we had 100 kills. Yo, Bludd, what do you get at 100 kills? At 100 kills, corpses rain from the sky. I'm assuming it's like the Witch Doctor spell, or something like that. I guess corpses fall down and damage your enemies. And if you're wondering, all this does scale with your level, with the Torment level, with the Greater Rift level. So a T16 corpse rain will do more than a T1 corpse rain. GR10 won't do as much damage as a GR100 corpse rain. So this should all scale, and I'm going to do my best to test all this for the community and make videos and give feedback to Blizzard to try to make this the best season possible. At 150 kills, a huge Frost Nova spawns, or procs. Huge wide Frost Nova freezes enemies. So this would actually proc your Parthens because you get a damage reduction based on, if things are crowd controlled or not. So that would actually work with Parthens. I'm assuming it would work with like Crispins for Necromancer and things like that. It only spawns once, and also, I like to give tips as we're going through the kill streaks. Also, they don't proc when the kill streak's over. They proc in a row. So you'll get all of these. So you get the twisters, and then you get the geysers, and then you get exploding chickens. And then at 100 kills, the corpses rain from the sky. And then at 150, the frost nova freezes enemies. If you were to lose the kill streak at this point, then you would reset back to 15, and then you can get those 5 all over again, or you can continue, right? So if you're continuing killing mobs, you get the 200 one. I guess it's like Call of Duty, like kill streaks too. At 200 kills, treasure chests fall from the sky. We talked to the community manager, and she said they're basically like the greed chests. The greed chests hurt you, like on T16. So it's like the greed chest. So I'm assuming there'll be a bunch of treasure chests falling down, crashing on our enemies, doing all the deeps. Obviously, you're not going to get loot or anything like that since it's a greater rift. It can be used in greater rifts as well, but that's kind of cool. Again, as long as all this is doing damage and scaling properly, it'll be meaningful and really fun. You know, we'll be paying attention to how many kills we're getting. And yeah, massacre bonuses on console with my time I played on console was really fun. It made me always kind of push me forward, and kind of like what massacre bonuses do when you're trying to level solo. You're kind of looking at the kill streak, and it's kind of driving you forward. It gives you a reason to kind of push yourself. And I think this will do that for this theme. At 300 kills, I think 300 kills is not a big deal, especially 300 and 400 kills seems like not a big deal, especially when we're pushing greater rifts. We typically look for open maps anyway. At 300 kills, a ring of fire, and it burns, burns, burns. It'll engulf everything. We'll get a huge ring of fire. So that is going to be cool. I'm a big fan of Firebird set, so I can't wait to see what this looks like. And if you manage to get to 400 kills, meteors hail from above. I don't know if that means hail that they are ice meteors or they just hail like they're just falling. So we'll see how that goes. And again, I don't know if these things are affected by anything else. We'll do our best to test it. So these could be like huge map clears. Like the meteors could do a huge amount of damage to everything. The ring of fire could do a huge amount of damage, and they're not that hard to get. And now you get to 500. Okay, so 500 might be a little bit more challenging. You might run out of mobs on the level that you're on. If you're in a group, the barb can go to the next level before everybody and then start killing things or hitting things, and then you guys can all zone, and it'll keep the buff up, right? So if you're hitting, you get to keep your kill streak, but you don't gain kills on hit. Otherwise, as soon as you get to the Guardian, you would just hit him, and then you get all the buffs, right? At 500 kills, angels descend upon the battlefield and fight for your cause. I don't know how many angels. I don't know if they're affected by any of your abilities, but damn, that's pretty cool. And if you could proc this before the Guardian, it might help you out. Like you might need single target on the Guardian, right? I would say the angels should do at least 15% of the total damage because I think that would make it meaningful. We'll see how strong it is. I can't wait to see how it looks. I'm thinking, off the top of my head, they're like the angels in like Act 4, like when you rescue them or fight alongside them in Act 4. I'm assuming it's like those kind of models, but we'll see how it goes. Now, for 1,000 kills, so it goes from 500 to 1,000. There's 3 question marks. So it says at 1,000 kills, it's just blank. So there's some kind of Easter egg that they added for us. We don't know what's going to happen. That's fun too. I can't wait to try to get to 1,000 kills and see what happens. A lot of us were thinking Diablo is going to spawn. My personal guess was a huge like lightning conduit, like just Thor, just lightning bolts across the whole screen will strike all my enemies down. It could be anything, man. If you look at what's been happening, we've been getting a lot of huge and bigger effects. So maybe it's Diablo fights for us. Maybe it's this huge lightning cloud conduit I think we're going to get. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Tweet at me. I want to know your guys' ideas. But yeah, everyone was just basically saying like bosses, rift bosses, a huge, somebody said like a huge ODEG, like an impaler mob. So you never know, dude. It's, I can't wait. I guess my hope, which is probably not going to come true. I guess my hope would be a rare transmog that you can't get weapon skin or some item, that's unique to this one season, of this one kind of achievement. Something like that. Some kind of weapon skin. It doesn't have to be a pet or a cosmetic or a pennant. I guess some kind of transmog would be dope to get. some kind of helm, like a skull helm transmog or something for the kill streak. I don't know. I'm a sucker for cosmetics, I guess. So that's the seasonal theme. I hope you guys like it. I think it's solid. I love the originality. And it was like last season. I love when they're trying funky stuff. I always would try to tell Blizzard, yo, make mistakes. It's okay. It's only 3 months. We'll be back the next season. If this one sucks, we'll be back next season, right? So take risks and make it fun. And this is exactly what they did 2 seasons in a row. So it's rock solid to me. You know, this is fun. We'll always be thinking about it. Having like the massacre bonus inside of Rifts is more fun than we think. You know, I bet you it's going to be a lot of fun. Like the double goblin thing. It wasn't good theme, but it was better than we thought. And I think this is going to be even better than we think. All right. So if you listen to the podcast or you follow Diablo 3, you'll know that we reported on getting new sets. So it's confirmed Blizzard is making 7 sets for us for Diablo 3. And they said dozens of new legendary powers. So we assumed BlizzCon, they're going to show us all 7 sets, and maybe they'll give us some insight to what their thought processes are on these new items and all this stuff. But we're getting 2 of those sets next season, season 19. We're getting a Crusader set and a Monk set. And I'm going to cover the Monk set right here. Okay, it's called Aegis of Valor. The 2-piece bonus, the charged bolts from Fist of Heavens, so yes, it's a Fist of Heavens set, has a chance to cast another Fist of Heavens. So you know when you cast Fist of Heavens, there's like this like area boom effect. That has a chance to proc another Fist of Heavens. And before you're asking, yeah, it stacks with the Dark Light. So that's going to be like 4 at a time. So it's going to be like this lightning, holy wrath god, the holy Shakadin of our dreams, the Wrath set, okay? The 4-piece bonus, hitting with Fist of Heavens, reduces the damage taken by up to 50%, and it lasts for 5 seconds. This, I want them to increase. So when you hit with Fist of Heavens, that's your damage reduction. And you're going to be casting it anyway, right? But the only problem is 5 seconds is a little low. So maybe the seasonal theme goes to 7 and then this goes to 7 also. Because when the Rift Guardian spawns, it might take a minute for you get them to get to you or for them to spawn in. And it can suck to lose your 50% damage reduction, especially on hardcore before the boss spawns. I would say the Crusader set goes to 10 seconds to keep up the buff. And then the seasonal theme maybe goes to 7, maybe. 5 is a pretty good spot, but maybe 7. The 6-piece bonus increases the damage of Fist of Heavens by 10,000%. So that's pretty nice. I'm assuming we can use the Captain set with this and get more reduced damage cost, get more damage. It's going to be dope, man. This is like a mid to long range set. And Crusader, yeah, a nice, crazy wrath, judgment, destruction. I can't wait to see what they look like. I'm just as excited for the transmogs, I think I've said it before, as I am for the actual gameplay. So tune in Thursday. Boom. We're going to have all that on there. And I'll be uploading all kinds of content from the PTR to my main channel as well. The next set is the Monk set. It's called Patterns of Justice. I did tell Blizzard today when they were in stream, I said, yo, that name is kind of lame. Okay, we've got a lot of other cool names, which I can't remember right now. But it should have something to do with Winds of Justice or Storms of Justice. Like, what the hell is Patterns of Justice, man? But they said, yo, Blood, just wait till you get to see it, and then maybe you'll understand. That's what they told me. So maybe there's some kind of, I don't even know, pattern. So we were making plaid jokes. Like maybe like there's like a plaid, I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll hold our judgment, but Patterns of Justice sounds kind of funny. Anyway, it's a Sweeping Wind set. I know you're thinking that Sun Wuko's kind of like a Sweeping Wind set, but no, this is a Sweeping Wind set. Like this, actually, you do damage with Sweeping Winds. Okay, so the 2-piece bonus of Patterns of Justice, Sweeping Wind gains the effect of every rune. There's some good runes that give you resource costs, that freeze the enemies, which can proc Relentless Assault and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of good Sweeping Wind runes. The 4-piece, each enemy within Sweeping Winds increases your movement speed. It stacks up to 10 times. So you got a 50% movement speed bonus with this Sweeping Wind set. Plus the seasonal theme is 50%. So now you're moving at 100% speed plus Annihilation. There's a lot of other things, plus Boon of the Hoarder. This might be a hell of a fast set. And I'm getting, Blizzard kind of said that it's like a whirlwind set, but I'm getting like Bone Storm vibes from this because you're doing damage with this massive AoE around your character. I'm getting really big Bone Storm vibes, like Lazy Mancer vibes. This would actually be one of the best goblin farming sets too, if everything kind of pans out. We'll have to test it and see. Or this might be really, really fast. The 6-piece bonus, attacking with Tempest Rush while Sweeping Winds is active will temporarily increase the size of Sweeping Winds after hitting over 30 times for a short period. So we're going to have to be casting Tempest Rush if we want to increase the size of it. But we don't necessarily have to increase the size of Sweeping Winds. So I'm going to play with it and see how it works. And then it increases the damage by 10,000%. Now they did buff some legendaries this time around to complement the new sets and to complement other playstyles. And we'll get into them here. So the Dark Light, you know about that. That's the Fist of Heaven's weapon. It used to be 45 to 60% to proc twice. Now it has a 100% chance to be procced twice. So every time you're casting Fist of Heavens, you're getting 2. And then with the 2-piece, you have a chance to get 4. At least 4. So it's just going to be like just huge. I can't wait to see this freaking Thor Thunder God of Power. Additional legendary power increased the damage of Fist of Heavens by 250. So the Dark Light has a multiplier on it, and it got bumped up to 100%. Eye of the Storm, right? It's a Monk Spirit Helm, I believe. Super trashy. Now it's useful. New legendary power added to Eye of the Storm. When Sweeping Winds hits exactly one enemy, so this is good for single target fights, its damage is increased by 100%. So, I guess if you get adds, those Guardians are easy to fight. If you just get one enemy, then now you get a huge damage boost. Or if you have that one pesky elite that kind of sticks around, now you're going to have increased damage against it. I might bump it up to 5, but I have to play with it to see. Remember Vengeful Wind for Sun Wukong? Yeah, they increased the stacks to 10. 10 now. It used to be 7. Remember we would always struggle to get 6 or 7 stack on Vengeful Wind? Now it inherently just comes with 10. And it has another power on it, increase the damage of Sweeping Winds by up to 300%. So you're like, wait, Blood, does this buff Sun Wukong, or what's the total number of stacks we can have? The total number of stacks you can have is 13. So we're getting 3 more stacks because Vengeful Wind got buffed. That means that Sun Wukong will be 4,500% stronger, which is about 5 GR tiers. So you could see Sun Wukong Wave of Light doing like maybe 135 solo GRs now, or 133 to 35, something like that, top end. It also buffs everything with the Sun Wukong set, even Tempest Rush, LTK, obviously Wave of Light. Any of these builds that go with Wukong basically just got like almost a 5k damage increase because of the Vengeful Wind. And then it has a multiplier where it increases the power of Sweeping Winds, which is good with the Sweeping Wind set, but I could see people using it with Sun Wukong as well. Like currently I run a Tempest Rush Sun Wukong build, so this would actually buff my existing Tempest Rush build in addition to the new set. So it's kind of cool that there's some crossover there. Chantoto's Resolve. Wait, the Chantoto set? Yo, Chantoto doesn't need any buffs, man. I know what you guys are thinking. Yeah, no, it got nerfed, actually. This is the first nerf in years that we've gotten. The first nerf that wasn't tied to performance issues. Like a lot of times things mess up the server and they have to change it. This is like the first one in literal years. They nerfed the attack speed scaling of Wave of Destruction for Chantoto set. The developer said this is a reactive adjustment from an earlier change on how Wave of Destruction receives bonus attack speed. The buff resulted basically more than they expected, so they're reining it in. So I don't know how big this is. We don't really know until we test it. But the Chantoto set got nerfed. I'm pretty sure it'll be at least a 130 plus viable build, especially with Squirt's Necklace and all that stuff. But yeah, this build took a hit, and it's good to see that they care about the balance of the game. I'm happy. All right, where are my barbs at? Are you guys ready for this? Yo, Wrath of the Waste, okay? The 6-piece bonus of Wrath of the Waste, which is I think is 10,000%, now buffs Rend. So previously it didn't apply to Rend. So now Rend is getting the 6-piece bonus from Wrath of the Waste. In addition, the Lamentation Belt increased the damage of Rend by up to 200%. So now the Lamentation belt has a multiplier on it, and this is going to be best in slot for Whirlwind Barb for sure. In the cube currently, I run Mantle of Channeling. I'll probably replace that with Lamentation belt. That way I can still use my BK set. I'm going to main Whirlwind Barb next season, so I'm super excited to test this and really get in there, you know? You think that's over? No, chat. There's more buffs. Ambo's Pride. Ambo's Pride is a legendary mighty weapon if you don't know. It has a new legendary power. Attacking with Whirlwind applies Rend automatically. And then the total damage of Rend is dealt over 1 second. I think it has a similar effect to how the Witch Doctor Jade is, where you do damage in half the amount of time. So that gives you double DPS. Well, the 2-piece Whirlwind set turns Rend into 15 seconds. So then if you use this, I'm assuming it's going to turn it into 1 second. So if you're confused and you're not following, this should be a 15 times damage increase for Rend with Ambo's Pride. This should be really nutty. And this should put Barbs in like the 135 solo, I would think, at least 135 solo tier. They were already doing really well, like in the 125. I think with all these buffs, it might bump it up to like 135 top end for solo pushing. I can't wait to test this out. This is kind of insane. I did talk to the devs about, this is going to be like a lag fest. We're going to blow up the servers. And are you sure this is going to work? And they were telling me that since it's dealt over 1 second, it's actually less total calculations overall. So it should be okay. We'll see. I mean, they ran the test. They know. We'll see on Thursday. I'll try to break everything. And yeah, wow. So Rend, they're tripling down on Rend. We got literally 3 Rend buffs with Ambo's Pride, Lamentation, and Rend is affected by the 6-piece waist set. So this should be a really good Whirlwind Barb season. Cowabunga, dude. Who's ready? Who's with me? Spin to literally win. They didn't just stop there. They did more Barb buffs. So Remorseless is a one-handed mighty weapon. So if you know Legacy of Dream Hoda build, we usually will use a pig sticker or just whatever good item we have. It's just like a throwaway. Now you can use Remorseless. While both Wrath of the Berserker and Call of the Ancients are active, it increases the damage of Hoda by up to 250%. So you can use this with IK Hoda, you can use this with Lod Hoda. I don't think you would use this with Raykor Hoda. So this buffs like the other 2 builds that need it, but not necessarily Raykor, because Raykor doesn't have perma Wrath the Berserker and perma Call the Ancients. So this is a nice item to buff these like B tier builds that need the help. So Hoda's getting a 250% damage increase. Awesome. They're also adding a legendary power to the Fjord Cutter. It's another legendary mighty weapon. So more Barb buffs. Seismic Slam attacks 50% faster. All right. And deals 150% increased damage to slowed or chilled enemies. There's all kinds of ways you can slow and chill enemies, and this just buffs Seismic Slam. You can do like Raykor Seismic Slam or Lon Seismic Slam. I'm curious to see how this goes. I did make a Seismic Slam speed build in the past, and I can't wait to try this out, man. I'm excited. All these Barb buffs. Bracers of Destruction. Those are those Seismic Slam bracers, basically. They do 500% increased damage to the first 5 enemies they hit. They're getting buffed to the first 10 enemies they hit. So that's going to effectively, I guess, double their effectiveness, because you hit boom with Seismic Slam and now you're doing it to 10 enemies. So that's awesome. It's going to really synergize with the Seismic Slam build from the Fjord Cutter. Fury of the Ancients. Those are the shoulders that give you the Ancients Fury rune. And the Ancients Fury rune, basically when the Ancients attack, you get Fury, and that gives you tons of resource, right? They're adding a multiplier on them where they attack 100% faster, which is crazy because Taskrin Theo is only 50. So are we going to get a Barb pet build? I don't know, man. Is it even going to be that good? Are they better than Gargantuans? Like what? So I have to test it and see. But like an IK pet build would be kind of interesting. And I'll try to use Enforcer and just see how it goes. And I don't know, 100% faster is a lot. They would also be giving you resource 100% faster since they're hitting. And then when they hit, you get resource. Another nerf. Necromancer did not escape the nerf bat this time along. Bone Ringer, okay? I'll read this to you guys. Bone Ringer caps at 60 stacks. A developer put a note here. We never intended for this item to be used the way where you farm stacks for an egregious amount of time, like 5+ minutes, and then watch their health disappear in less than a second. It's not an engaging style of gameplay, and I agree, Blood agrees. I hated this whole Thorns Bone Ringer bullshit, right? And we don't want that experience to be the best way to play Necromancer. So that's a easy clap for the freaking Bone Ringer. Rip to the Bone Ringer. It basically got nerfed. It's dead. And that's the Veers and Thorns. Those are like the two biggest builds basically getting knocked down a peg or two. And that's really, really good. And I'm excited about that. And it just shows that they care about like how we're spending our time in Diablo. And at least a little bit. And they're kind of saying like, that's probably too toxic. We're going to go this direction. That's probably too toxic or easy. We're going to go this direction. The Legacy of Dreams gem got removed. I'm just kidding. The Legacy of Dreams gem, the Law gem, is more likely to drop from Rift Guardians now. I don't know if this is going to drop on the second time or the third or fourth. Maybe they just increased the percentage. I have to test it to find out. But this is one of our feedback to Blizzard was we should get the Law gem as our second gem just to promote the play style of Legacy of Dreams, right? Some people just want to play Laud and now they get to do it. Now they'll have a higher chance to get it at least. So that's kind of like a quality of life improvement. They did change some monsters. So Blighter's Poison Tentacles, the AoE effect is less frequently, but it does higher damage. Okay. I don't know what that was there for, but there's that. They fixed some bugs with Smite that failed to apply some Garg buffs. And Squirt's Necklace. Yes. More of our feedback. They fixed issues where some of the ground effects were causing Squirt's Necklace to fall off, even if you're shielded. So I gotta go test. Again, everything has to be thoroughly tested, but yeah, Squirt's Necklace would drop off to frozen, to like mobs exploding around you, like these little poison pools on the ground. Even if you had shield pylon or just shields from other sources, it was super frustrating. This alone will buff Veers, and it might just be a wash with Veers, honestly. Like Veers might have lost damage from the scaling, but they'll probably get their damage back from losing Squirts all the damn time. And it might actually be even for Veers. We'd have to check it out. Woo! So that's the patch. I really want to know what you guys think. It's important to me to hear feedback in the video or when you guys tweet me or talk to me in stream. I stream Diablo 6 days a week. Twitch.tv/Bluddshed. My Twitter is twitter.com/Bluddshed. I guess in conclusion, for the patch notes, I think this seasonal theme is glorious. And if the items or the powers that spawn, like the treasure chests and the exploding chickens, if I see the chicken run to an elite and chunk them for a little bit of health, it'll feel good. If I see the chicken hit the elite and it does nothing, then I'm instantly not going to pay attention to it, and it's just going to make me not be connected to the theme. I have to see it. I don't want it to be overpowered, but I want it to be like impactful, right? When the angels come down, I want them to be just slapping heads, right? Backhanding fools. Like I want it to feel good, and but again, yeah, not be overpowered, right? My thoughts on the new sets is it's just what the community asked for. I feel like the majority of the community asked for Phalanx and Heaven's Fury sets, and we got one of the two that we really wanted. It doesn't mean that we won't get Phalanx buffs in the future. All they have to do is take the Phalanx ring and throw a fatty multiplier on it, and then boom, we have a Phalanx build, right? So it doesn't mean that there won't be buffs, just like we didn't get a Barb set this time, but we got other Barb buffs that brought up certain builds like Hoda, Seismic Slam, and so forth. So just because like the thing that you wanted to get wasn't there, like I really wanted an LTK set. We got a Sweeping Wind set. I'm still super happy with it. And Blizzard could definitely throw some buffs toward LTK in the future and still give me my playstyle without dedicating a whole set to it. So the new sets are awesome. I didn't think we were going to get them till BlizzCon, man. This came super fast, and I'm really happy about the new sets. Can't wait to see what they look like. And the seasonal theme is awesome. I would say the new sets are a solid A, and the seasonal theme is a solid B. All the other changes would be an A, like those Barb buffs, the nerfs to the meta builds that are dominating. All we got to do is remove Singularity, and we'll be Gucci, man. I can't wait for BlizzCon. I'm sure they're going to have the sets there on. I'm just assuming they're going to have them for demo, and I can't wait to play them and check it out. Big shout out to the patrons supporting the videos, the community. We got Morton, welcome to the Patreon Club, Cameron and Joelle. You three are awesome. Thanks for allowing us to do what we do and basically funding these videos and all that stuff. I'm starting another YouTube channel for other videos. I didn't want to blast my Diablo channel with just random Let's Plays. So I made a new channel. It's going to be in the description of this video. Please follow it if you like Let's Plays from me. There's going to be like a Pokemon Stadium Let's Play and just pretty much anything. We play a lot of stuff. Dead by Daylight compilations. So I'll probably play Sword and Shield also when it comes out. Put a Let's Play on there. Indie games. Pretty much everything's on the table. My second channel is going to be like the freaking Wild West of Let's Plays. I'm just going to put up all kinds of stuff on there. So I probably won't start uploading for a few days. And I can't really even get like monetization until I hit 1,000 subs also. So if you could do me a favor and support on the second channel, if you want to see Let's Plays, you know, it's not going to interfere with my Diablo content. This is just something we do on stream. So I'm streaming anyway, so then I could just chop up the Let's Plays and throw them up on the second channel. Shout out to all the YouTube paid subs. We got some YouTube paid subs out there. We just enabled it last month and we have a lot already, so thank you guys. Twitch subs, obviously, the backbone of everything, the bit leaders and all that stuff. Next week, the podcast will focus on just recapping all my experience. So the PTR starts on Thursday and the podcast is on Tuesday. So I would have had all weekend with the PTR and I'll give you guys like a rundown. So you get to see the beginning, right? Right now is like the sunshine and rainbows. We got new content. And then Tuesday is the real deal where you get to see me like after 40 hours of testing and you get the real results and everything. And then all the builds will be on my Patreon page, patreon.com/bloodshed. Every build will be updated for next season. And we only have a week on the PTR, so I'm just going to be cranking out content left and right. So the main channel is going to get blasted. And then the Let's Play channel will have like Pokemon on in the background. So I've already filmed like 2 or 3 episodes. That'll be easier. Next week, we should have like lore cornerback and all that stuff. But when we have meaty content like this, I just want to focus on that since that's what everyone wants to hear. That's what I want to talk about too. I get super focused on the new stuff. But anyway, you know me. I can ramble all day. Thanks again for all the support. Thanks for listening. This is the Bloodshed and I'm out of here. Peace.